All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakat, Quadash, double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes to all the sincere elect out there. All right, back at you, another lesson. Gonna play a couple of clips just to land back off the what's been put out there, which is prophecy by our elders and our big brothers. Right? This happened a couple of days ago. Thousands of crows leaving Tel Aviv or flying over. This is considered by many to be a harbinger of doom, as it is often followed by total catastrophe. Ooh. But we just following everything through the scriptures as we do. Right? Yeah, we are known. The prophets are here. And we are also known as messengers of doom or prophets of doom. But it's not doom and gloom for the sincere and the large people. But for those that come against the large people and those that hate truth, justice and righteousness, it's a message of doom. So we're in the year of apostate sellouts and agents and Jacob's trouble. Things be popping off left, right and center. Yeah, so I'm just going to land back off this as we do follow everything through the scriptures. Yeah, so what does it mean? Breaking. Hundreds of crows were spotted flying and circling across the sky over Tel Aviv, creating an unusual eerie scene above the city. Represents capture. Right, what does it represent? Residents captured a moment as the birds hovered and moved in large clusters, filling the skyline and drawing attention from people across the area. The reason behind the sudden gathering of so many crows is still unclear, but we're going to cipher it as we do. We're going to cipher it through the scriptures because that's where the answers are. First of all, what does Google have to say? It says, what does crows represent? Simply, crows symbolism is deeply paradoxical, acting as a bridge between light and dark, life and death, and wisdom and trickery. Yeah, I'll be very into the nature myself. I'll be making my own observations. I've noticed more so it seems to be increasing even in the urban areas as well, right? In cities, towns, parks, there's a cluster. I've been noticing there's a gathering. You might even say a meeting. A meeting. The animals were having meetings. I wonder why. We're going to see if we can get the answers in the scriptures, right? So often seen as a messenger of the spirit world, messengers of the spirit world, crows represent transformation, intelligence, and a higher perspective, while also serving as omens of destiny, change, or in some traditions, deletions. Right. Crows symbolize the necessary ending and new beginnings in life, encouraging adaptability and personal growth. But there is an ending coming, and we're going to choose our words. Right? We're going to speak in code for the most part. And those who knows the end is coming, those you got so-called truthers, they be speaking on this. They be speaking on many other things too. But yeah, they know some stuff, but they don't know what the scriptures have to say. They don't. The Most High hasn't revealed the secrets unto them. As I said yesterday, he's revealed Matthew 11:25. He's revealed the secrets to his elect. So we're going to watch a couple of videos as we do. We're going to hit the precepts. Let's watch a couple more. This is another video. This happened a couple of days ago. Yeah, see that? They're all over, right? You be the judge of that. You be the judge. So, what does the scriptures have to say about fowls, beastly animals? Oh, I did do a video on the similar, something very similar with lions, and there was a whole lot of hogs or wild boars going into a lot of towns in China, or is it Japan, and they was coming in just wobbling in or running in and grabbing up certain foods in between picnics in people's gardens. Yeah, wild boars, which are just wild pig. And when they're left for a little while, the wild to run wild, those pigs, those pink pigs that you see in farms, they grow horns. They go a different color, black, and they're very very aggressive. So the Most High, and the title of that video was "The Most High has promised a great feast for the animals, and they're all part of his army. Most High is in control of every living thing." So let's hit Ezekiel to start with. Ezekiel 39 and 7. He says, "O thou son of man, thus saith Yahweh thy power, speak unto every feathered fowl and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves and come together, yourselves on every side, to be a sacrifice. Yep, that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice." So yeah, they're gonna get their feed. They're gonna get their food in. Yeah, they're gonna get their feed. They're gonna have their party, right? The animals have been promised that too, right? They're gonna get their sacrifice. That I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that ye may eat flesh and drink blood. So yeah, that's why we see them, and they're over here too, right? In certain concrete jungle over here in the mother of Babylon, not just over there, they're gathering, they're having a meeting, which is ordained by the Spirit, the Great Spirit, what you Christians call him God, and you got other names for him as too, in other religions like Great Spirit and Allah in other religions, but he is the Most High over the whole earth. Yeah, to do what? In 18, ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes. Oh, they're gathering troops now. Trump's been saying, he's been speak of it, and I believe it will happen because that's part of prophecy, to send a lot of troops over there, right? Over there in Iran. I'm going to speak a bit of code, and you choose my words, so that they're going to have grand troops on the earth to have some form of, go in to settle the issue, so to speak. But he's sending them over there. But you know what? The Most High has promised. He's promised a massive feast for his creatures, right? Not just the fowl or the crows, but others too. Yeah, to eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes and of the earths. These are what they're going over there to happen to them, right? Going down there to go on the ground. They're under a strong delusion, according to Isaiah 66 and 4, right? And also 2 Thessalonians. These are under a strong delusion. The Most High, he's in control. They're just puppets to the Most High. So they're going to be a sacrifice, right? Right? The princes of the earth, of rams, of the lambs, of the goats, and of the bullocks, and of them fatling of Bajan. And ye shall eat fat till you be full, and drink blood till you be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. Yep. So that's what's happening. We're seeing these gatherings taking place, right? And the Most High has been promised. There is a controversy, right? He has with his enemy, right? And also, when you go to the top, it talks about Gog and Magog, right? Which are the Russians. Most High has a controversy against them, they go back to the Edomites as well. Right, so there will be a gathering, there will be a controversy. That grand finale, right, before the grand finale takes place, there has to be a controversy, it has to be settled with the Most High's enemies. And he's gathering, he's mustering up the host of the battle. And he's already prepared what's going to take place in that controversy. And he's prepared the aftermath for the birds. That's the aftermath. What's going to be left on the ground, as I just read. They're going to be filled, going to be fat. All right, let's hit another one. So he's prepared what's going to take place. We know beforehand what's going to take place. There will be a gathering, right? Mashapat, a judgment. Waha Mashapat, a gathering of judgment, right, over there, right, in a particular place, right? Not too far from the Euphrates River. There is a gathering, all right, and it's going to be settled there, right? The troops and all of the enemy of the Lord. And it's going to happen, it's going to be settled, it's going to be a mashapat, it's going to be a massive judgment, right? Waha mashapat. It's going to be settled in the Most High's judgment. So, let's hit, we're going to hit Revelation, straight to the point as it describes. No, we won't. We'll read into it a little bit. What's going to take place, Revelation. We're going to start with chapters 19 and verse 14 says, "And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean." Yep. So his armies, the Most High's armies, are what? They represent the angels, right? And there's all different types of the Most High's. Like I say, he's in control of every living thing. Different types of armies, the angels, the physical, right? Which are his people, or the elect, 144,000. You've got the angels, right? The physical, which are the spiritual, and also the missiles, which are his physical. He's in control of them. Pursuing to Isaiah 13, reading up until 4, he mustereth up the host of the battle, is in total control. MK Ultra, they're under his mind control. And also his mighty ones are also described as his angels in Joel chapters 3 and 11. Also the mighty ones, also Revelation 12 and 7, right? And behind that is Michael, the ultimate warrior, right? Who is like God, Michael, right? The chief archangel. He's his mighty spearhead. He's going to spearhead Michael in it, right? As his mighty warrior. And he's got other chief archangels too, like Gabriel. So I mentioned Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, which is he's in control of the health. Uriel, light of God, and Gabriel, warrior of God. His three archangels. They're going to spearhead his angels. Going to lead the charge. And not forgetting the top angel, Yahushua himself. Right? So, jump down. Let's read on. 15. And out of his mouth goes forth a sharp sword, that which he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Yep. Out of his mouth, he's talking about the judgments that he's going to bring down. Once again, that's the mashapat, Waha mashapat, right? And his judgments, mashapat judgments, while ragma means destruction in the curses prayer. So he's coming. He's going to bring that sword, the judgments, pursuant to Isaiah 11. It's going to come out of his mouth, right? The iron, the rod of iron, right, is his power, right? That he spearheads his nations, or once again, the rod of iron. It's going to come out of his mouth. It's going to be the be-all and end-all. The end of all wars is when Yahushua returns. So that's what's going to come out of his mouth, representing judgment, the sword. So these people, man, they're seeing this omen and they're getting shook. And they should be. You should be, yeah? 16. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, right? That represents his splendor, his strength, his splendor. Yep, as we know, right? Christians want to say all kind of folly about it's a tattoo, But as we know, we just have to ignore these Christians, right? So for the most part, most brothers that are here now have been through that folly and have woken up. So, yeah, vocabulary, just a waste of time. 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, and to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together under the supper. The supper. Yep, the supper. That's the Most High's what? The Most High's promised the fowl, birds, and the beast of the earth a great supper. Right? He's going to feed them. Right? They ain't gonna be hungry. Right? That's gonna be, they're gonna get well fed after the aftermath of what we see in here, WW3. They're gonna be well fed. Right? And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, and to all the fowls, fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together. That's what we're seeing here. Right? It's just a build up to bigger and better judgments. The grand finale. So he's setting the stage. That's what we're seeing here. The Most High is setting the stage for his return. Right? Last one. That ye may eat the flesh of kings. That's the precept to what I read in Ezekiel 39. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of the horses. And yeah, that's their horses represents their power. And also what the wheel that pushes the grind, right? The wheel that pushes the grind. And talk about their kings, right? That's the devil, right? As we know, the devil incarnate, right? The ease, right? The mighty men, that includes the banking families, the international banking families, right? It's talking about the foods. These are the people that eat up whatsoever is left. Yeah, will be buried. Right. So the Most High is gonna, whatever is left will be buried by whatever's left. There ain't gonna be much left, because as he's promised, the Lord has promised a great feast to the fowls of the heavens and the beast of the creeping things of the earth. Right. Not forgetting all the creepy Kylies and all of that. They're gonna come and get some. They're gonna get their 2 cents in as well. Right. The wild boars, which like I said, I've done a video on that, and you got other wild animals. They're gonna come just like what we saw with the lockdown. Animals is coming, lions just crouching. There was lions literally was said to be spotted on schools on the roof. Lions this was in the lockdown. Grass was growing. Things went for the most part back to beauty, right? Because when the devil's around, he destroys everything, including the earth. But when there that little lockdown we saw, that little glimpse of couple of years lockdown, things started to replenish itself, heal itself. The earth felt a bit better, because the devils they had a break from the devils. The devils incarnate, the deceiver. All right. So that's what we're looking forward to, when these eat up the flesh of the mighty. Right. Esau, his international banking families, and what is ever left, going to be buried by our slaves. Right, we're gonna just tell him to grab a shovel and get busy. To worry about Shimon Shai Kala Yahweh by Shem Yosai by Shem Kakodash. Here's the last one. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horses and against his army. But you know what? Mosai, he gonna get the last laugh. Yeah? Yehoshai, as a matter of fact, gonna get his first digs. And he who last laughed, because they was laughing at him when he was on the cross, mocking him, right, scourging him, putting the crown of thorns on his head, spitting on him, saying prophesy. So they was having a laugh. They was literally having a laugh. But as the saying goes, he who last laughs best. So Yehoshai gonna get the last laugh. That's gonna be the grand finale. And even the birds are going to have their 2 cents. The birds and the wild beasts of the heavens are going to get their 2 cents in. And when we see this, right, we observe, like I say, I'll be doing my treks, and I'll be walking around in the urban areas, and I sometimes retreat to the greenery, and I'll be noticing, they're making their own little, they're having their own little gatherings. The fowls of the heavens, they're having their own little gatherings, which are all through the Spirit of the Lord, putting it into their DNA, into their instinct to get ready, because they're going to get well fed. As it says here, Job 14. We just did that when we tapped into Google. What it represents is a bad omen. It's not a good omen for the devil, right? Job 12 and 6 says, the tabernacle of robbers prosper, and they that provoke our power are secure, unto whose hand our power bringeth abundant. Right? They prosper through left-hand side, right? They practice divination and our farmer witchcraft, and that gives them prosperity, but it's on the left-hand side. But has been promised, most sides got them, they're all set up. Everything's been set up, right? Humpty Dumpty. What happened to Humpty Dumpty? He had a great fall. That's going to happen to Babylon. Same principle. 7. Ask now the beasts that they shall teach thee. Yep. And the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee. Yeah, that's what's happening. That is what we're seeing, making these observations. And even, as I say, you got truthers, people that really take time out and look into things, and they be saying, not far off, quite similar. This is not a good omen, what we're seeing over there in so-called Middle East. It's a bad omen. I'm going to read that 7 again of Job 12 in the NLT. It says, just ask the animals, and they will teach you. Ask the birds of the sky, and they will tell you. So the elect, soon we're going to be able to do that on a verbal level. We're going to talk to them. We're going to communicate with them, either verbally, or you might say telepathically. We're going to know what they're doing. We're going to know what they got, how they feel. We're going to understand their emotions because they're spiritual. That's going to happen on a higher level. The closer we get to the kingdom, it's going to increase. Let me just say it like that. The closer we get to the kingdom, it's just going to increase our relationship with the earth, the animals, and the beasts and the fowl. Right? We're going to be in league with them. So that's increasing now. But we at this moment we just have to observe them. We can see what they're doing. And I'm going to say this, what I saw the other day. I just was doing my little chores, and I saw a cat. And I communicated with the cat, and it communicated with me. For a future video, this was very interesting. I just communicated with the cat. It turned around, and it actually communicated with me. How cats do, right? I'll leave that with you. I communicated with the cat. It turned around and it communicated with me. How cats do communicate. And it was plain. If anybody was on the outside looking in, that was very strange. But I've also seen cats scratch Edomites. I've seen them just scratch them. And Edomite went up to a cat thinking that he was going to be greeted, and the cat just out of nowhere just grabbed him and made a noise, and it just scratched him. And I saw that, and he was in front of me when I walked up to the cat. The cat was completely calm, never had no issues with me. But they got issues with you devils. So we're making that observation, and we're seeing it now. We're going to be in a high. We're increasing, man. Yahshua Allah are increasing our capacity to communicate with the animals, as it says here. Speak to the earth, and it will instruct you. Let the fish in the sea speak to you. Yeah. And it's going to be literal. It's going to be on a higher level once again. We're seeing it now, making those observations. But we're going to be in full elite, right, or league, when it will be fully in league with the animals on a higher level. But we're just making these observations now, right? This is not a good omen for what's happening, what we see, right, with WW3. Not a good omen, right? We're just making these observations, and you be the judge of it. We leave it with you. Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakadash. So the title of this video is going to be, let the animals do what they do. Let them speak. Let them speak. Yeah. Ask the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee. Let the animals speak. And they're speaking right here, right now. To what Bashim Shai, Kala Bashim Shai, we are on to the next.